Week 1 of the 2016 NFL season is in the books, and I'm going to show you how I did my picks this past week, and also give you my picks for this coming week. Welcome to an all-new episode of Big Predictions. Hello everybody, and it's Big E here, and NFL Week 1, finally upon us. It was a pretty good week, I must say. Overall, my record for the week, in my very first week, 9-6, which is not the week I really wanted. I kind of wanted to get in the double digits in the winners column, but you know what? I'll take a winning record any day of the week. So the first game, the Thursday night game, of course, the Panthers and the Broncos. This was a much anticipated game. And, the Broncos coming away with the victory. I went with the Panthers in this one. So, freaking Graham Gano just can't come away in the clutch. Just can't understand it. But anyway, good job for Denver. They held strong. Got the 1-point win, 21-20. That's pretty good. Trevor Siemian, he did really good. Not too bad for a guy who never took an NFL snap in his life. But so far for stats, you got Denver, Trevor Siemian, went 18 for 26, 178 yards and a touchdown. But he had 2 interceptions, which, the win kind of overshadowed those 2 interceptions. But you know what? He had them. They're there. But it came away with the win, so it doesn't really matter. Some other stats here. Cam Newton, he went 18 for 33, 194 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And that's really about it for that game. But you know what? Starting off the week 0-1, not so good. The next game, the Tampa Bay and the Atlanta game, I went with the Falcons in this one. Not the game I expected. The Buccaneers came away with a win. Not very good so far. Starting off 0-2. But you know what? I'm going to get my first win eventually. Come on, he's coming soon. But, just some stats here. Jameis Winston went 23 for 33 with 281 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. That's not bad at all. For Atlanta, Matt Ryan went 27 for 39 with 134 yards and 2 touchdowns, which not a very bad week for Matt Ryan, who's kind of been better in the past. He's not in a very good situation right now. So, 0-2 start, not so good. But the next game, the Minnesota-Tennessee game, has given me some life. The Vikings traveling to Tennessee to take on the Vikings. I went with the Vikings, and the Vikings have gotten my first win. Sean Hill, you're the man. Blair Walsh, you still suck. You know what? I got my win. It's all good. Sean Hill, backing up Teddy Bridgewater. That was quite something. He went 18 for 33, 236 yards, and he didn't have any touchdown receptions, so not so good. Adrian Peterson not having the week I expected he was going to have. As soon as Bridgewater got hurt, he was the guy who was supposed to lead this team, and he only went 19 rushes for 33 yards. So, not really what I expected out of him. Tennessee, some notables here. Marcus Mariota went 25 for 41 with 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception in the loss to Minnesota. But Minnesota, thank you. You got my first win. All right, I take a 1-2 record into the Cleveland and Philadelphia game, which I went with Philadelphia, and they didn't disappoint. Yes, they may be a division rival, but they still didn't disappoint. Then again, it was against Cleveland, so not very hard. RG3, big shocker here, gets hurt in week 1, broke his shoulder. God only knows how long he's going to be out for. Some stats for Cleveland. Before RG3 got hurt, he went 12 for 26 with 190 yards and an interception. Surprise, surprise. Isaiah Crowell, he had a rushing touchdown. For Philadelphia, Carson Wentz, he did pretty good in his very first start. Going 22 for 37, 278 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's mighty damn fine, I must say, for a rookie. But you know what? Eagles getting me another win. I'm going 2-2 into the Bengals and Jets. The Bengals and Jets game, I watched this game a little bit. Definitely was a close game throughout. Cincinnati had me scared there with the Jets. The Jets were pretty good in this game. But I went with Cincinnati, and Cincinnati did not disappoint, and they got me the win. Just for stats here, Andy Dalton going 23 for 30, 366 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And of course, that one pass touchdown he had was to, of course, A.J. Green, who is the best wide receiver to ever come into Cincinnati. But Cincinnati, giving me a winning record as we head into the next game. The Raiders and the Saints. This was definitely a close game throughout. You know, this Drew Brees absolutely went off, even though he lost. But he absolutely went off this game. The Raiders, you know, they could gutsy call, going for 2 that late in the game. If it were me, I'd kick the field goal, send it in overtime. But the Raiders came away with the win. I picked the Saints, so, you know, they did give me the loss. So, just some stats here. David Carr going 24 for 38 with 319 yards and 1 touchdown. And that's about it. Drew Brees, like I said, he went off this game even though he lost. You know, he went 28 for 42, 423 yards, and 4 touchdowns. You know, the guy in my fantasy league, he's got him. He got that guy 41 points. That's pretty damn good. But, yeah, that's about it. Nobody else really did that much. We're going to the Chargers and the Chiefs game, which I thought the Chiefs were going to give me a losing record midway through week 1, but they didn't, and they came away with a great comeback. And then again, I could probably thank the Chargers for choking a 23-point lead. But besides that, I'm going to say it was a great comeback by the Chiefs, winning in overtime. Alex Smith leading the team. He did pretty good. You know, he gave me another winning record. I'm 4-3 right now. This is pretty good. Alex Smith, you're a genius. Just some stats from this game. You know, Phillip Rivers, good quarterback, bad team. He went 25 for 36, 243 yards and a touchdown. And for Alex Smith, he went 34 for 48, 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 interception this game. I have him on my fantasy team. I didn't start him, but I might consider starting him here pretty soon. I don't know. But it was a good game all around. Thank you, Chiefs, for giving me a winning record. We head to the Bills-Ravens game, which not a whole lot happened here. Not a whole lot of scoring like I thought. You know, Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, you did terrible this game. And, you know, props to the Ravens. They did pretty good. You know, they managed to score 13 against Buffalo, but Buffalo only managed to score 7. I mean, come on. Lowest scoring game of week 1, but time to settle down. You know, I'm at 500 right now, 4-4. Not too good. But you know what? Here's some stats from the game. Joe Flacco in his return going 22 for 34, 258 yards, and a touchdown. Not bad. Not bad at all. And for the Bills, Tyrod Taylor going 15 for 22 with 111 yards. Not really good. LaShawn McCoy had the only touchdown for the Bills, so could have been a lot better for Buffalo. But I go to the next game where we got the Bears and the Texans. The Bears doing what the Bears do, not doing a whole hell of a lot. But the Texans, on the other hand, Brock Osweiler making his first start for Houston. It was pretty damn good. But they got me another win, so I'm 5-4 right now. Not bad at all. I will take that record. But the Bears, just some stats here. Jay Cutler going 16 for 29, 216 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. That was alright. Jay Cutler, you did okay. You still suck. And for the Houston Texans, Brock Osweiler going 22 for 35, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception in his Week 1 win. So, not bad at all. 5-4. Let's go. The next game here, you know, this was a pretty tight game coming all the way down to the final minute. You know, the Packers and the Jags. Packers coming away with a win, but not in the way I expected. It was a pretty close game all the way down to the stretch. But the Packers got me the win. I'm happy. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers. I started you on fantasy this week. Got me a solid amount of points. Here's some stats from him. He went 20 for 34, 199 yards, and 2 touchdowns in his win. Pretty damn good. And for the Jaguars, props to them. They played a damn good game against one of the Super Bowl favorites this year. Blake Bortles going 22 for 39, 320 yards, and a touchdown and interception. They, like I said, not a bad Jaguars team this year. I'm expecting a little bit of good things from them. We go on to the next game here. Once again, not a whole lot of scoring in this one either. Miami and Seattle. Miami, you know, doing what Miami does. Not a whole lot. But Tannehill did go 16 for 29 with 186 yards. And Seattle, I picked them. They're giving me another winning record, 6-4. Let's go. I'm loving it. But you know what? Russell Wilson going 27 for 43, 258 yards, and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Not bad for him. We're going to the next game now. This one had me on the edge of my seat, heart pounding all the way down to the final seconds of that game, literally. The Giants and the Cowboys. I'm sure everybody's heard about it right now. Terrence Williams, learn to get the hell out of bounds. I mean, even I'll admit, as a Giants fan, I have a feeling we would not have won that game if he had gotten out of bounds. Just the way Dan Bailey was kicking all day, that was pretty good. 56-yard field goal, it would have been like a 63-yarder, but you know what? I wasn't feeling too good about the chances then. Until Terrence Williams couldn't run out of bounds. I mean, come on. Football 101, Terrence. Football 101. But I picked the Giants. The Giants got the 1-point win. A win is a win. No matter how much crap I take for it, a win is a win. We're 1-0. So the Giants giving me a 7-4 record. Pretty good. We go to the next game here. The Lions and the Colts. Oh, this was a good game all the way down to the end. I caught the tail end of this game after the Giants game got over. I turned it on. The Colts had just scored the go-ahead touchdown with a minute and a half left. And then the Lions just charged down the field, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. I mean, yeah, props to the Lions. They did pretty good, but, meh. All right, I guess. Matthew Stafford went 31 for 39, 340 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad week out of Stafford. For Indy, Andrew Luck going 31 for 47, 385 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Not a bad week out of Andrew Luck. But the Lions give me another loss on the season, which kind of sucks. So I take a 6-5 record into the Sunday night game. Let's go. The Sunday night game, another close one, but not the way I wanted it turned out. The Patriots coming away with a close win in the final seconds off another missed field goal. Man, missed field goals this week, I tell you. I will give props to the Pats. Not too bad. Jimmy Garoppolo, he did pretty good filling in for Tom Brady. But the Patriots come away with a 2-point win. Just some stats here. Jimmy Garoppolo going 24 for 33, 264 yards, and a touchdown. And for the Cardinals, Carson Palmer went 24 for 37, 271 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So another good week. I still expect good things out of both teams. So 6-6 into Monday night. Let's see how I do. Steelers and the Redskins, the first of the Monday night doubleheader. Not bad, I must say. Not too bad at all. The Steelers, they had a pretty good win over the Redskins. I went with the Steelers in this one. Of course I did, the Steelers. But Ben Roethlisberger going 27 for 37, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. He had a pretty good week. For the Redskins, Kirk Cousins, he didn't do a whole lot. 30 for 43, 329 yards, and 2 interceptions. Oh, Kirk. But you know what? Steelers giving me the win, 7-6. I like it. And in the final game of the night, the Rams and the 49ers. I went with the Rams. Los Angeles, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. The 49ers come away with a 28-point shutout win over Los Angeles. And pretty good. Los Angeles didn't do jack squat. Look at Case Keenum's stats. 17 for 35, 130 yards, 2 interceptions. Come on. And then for the 49ers, Blaine Gabbert, he had a pretty good game. 22 for 35, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown. Not bad at all, I must say. 9-6 on the week, not bad. I'm feeling pretty good heading into next week. Coming up are my Week 2 predictions. Now it's time for my Week 2 predictions. I gotta change stuff here. Time to get serious. Let's do this. First game of Week 2, Thursday night. The Jets and the Bills. The Bills didn't do so good on Sunday. The Jets, they lost a close one. So I'm going to take the Jets in this game. And the next game here, 49ers and the Panthers. 49ers, yeah, they won. Panthers, they might have lost. But I'm going to take the Panthers in this one. Panthers, they're looking good. The Cowboys and the Redskins. The Cowboys, they lost a close one. The Redskins, they got blown out. So, I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one. They look good. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, they look good. I'm taking the Cowboys in this one. The Bengals and the Steelers. 2 good teams here in a rematch of the NFC wild card from last January. The Bengals, they won a close one. The Steelers, they had a pretty strong outing. But I'm going to take the Steelers in this game. And then the next game, the Saints and the Giants. The Saints coming to New York for the first time. You know, the Saints, they lost a close one. The Giants, they won a close one. So, but I'm going to take the Giants. They almost beat New Orleans last year. So I'm going to take the Giants in this one. The next game, the Dolphins and the Patriots. The Dolphins, they lost to Seattle. The Pats, they beat the Cards by 2. But I'm going to take the Patriots in this one. It's in New England. You know, yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots in this one. The next game, the Chiefs and the Texans. Both teams getting wins this past week. But, you know, the Chiefs, they did look good. But I'm going to take the Texans in this one. And the Texans, I think they have the better team. I'm going to take the Texans over the Chiefs. Next game, the Titans and the Lions. You know, 2 games, the Lions, they won a close one. The Titans, they lost. I'm going to take the Lions. Matthew Stafford, he looked really good last week. So, the Lions over the Titans. Next game, the Ravens and the Browns. The Ravens, they beat the Bills. The Browns, they lost. And they lost RG3. Not that they had gained anything. But I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. Not a hard decision. The Ravens are the better football team. Next game, the Seahawks and the Rams. The Seahawks going to Los Angeles. Los Angeles having their very first game since coming back. So, I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. They won. And then the Rams, they just came off that disappointing loss Monday night. You know, getting shut out. So, Seahawks over the Rams. The Bucs and the Cardinals. You know, the Buccaneers, they had a good win against Atlanta. The Cardinals, they just barely lost to the Pats. But I'm going to take the Cardinals in this one. They're one of my favorites to win the NFC. Next game, the Falcons and the Raiders. You know, the Falcons, they lost. The Raiders, they won. And I think the Raiders are going to take that momentum. And the Raiders are going to win this week. I'm taking the Raiders over the Falcons. The next game, the Colts and the Broncos. The Colts, they just barely lost to the Lions. The Broncos, the defending Super Bowl champions, and there's a reason why. They beat Carolina this last week. I'm going to take the Broncos over the Colts. The Broncos, you know, they're strong. They are. And then the Sunday night game is the Packers and the Vikings. It's an NFC North matchup in Minnesota. But I'm going to take the Packers in this one. Yeah, they won a close one against Jacksonville, but I think they are the stronger football team. And the Vikings, you know, they won, but it was against Tennessee. So I'm going to take the Packers. They're definitely the stronger football team. And in the Monday night game, the last game of Week 2 is the Eagles at the Bears. I'm going to take Philadelphia in this one. The Bears, you know, they're the Bears. They still don't look that good. They haven't looked good in a while. So, and Carson Wentz, he looked really good. So I'm going to take the Eagles over the Bears, Week 2. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Big Predictions NFL Edition. Join me next week, and I'll review my Week 2 predictions and make my Week 3 predictions, along with a Super Bowl update, and I'll be introducing new weekly awards for my teams and players of the week. So long, everybody.